Networks and telecommunications are the transmission of signals over a distance for the purpose of telecommunication. In modern times, this process almost always involves the sending of electromagnetic waves by electronic transmitters, but in earlier years, it may have been involved the use of smoke signals, drums, or semaphore. Today, network and telecommunication is widespread, and devices that assist the process, such as television, radio, and telephone, are common in many parts of the world. There is also a vast array of networks that connects these devices, including computer networks, public telephone networks, radio networks, and television networks. Computer communication across the internet, such as email and instant messaging, is just one example of the many types of telecommunication devices. In this lecture, we shall be exploring on network for mobile businesses. Therefore, I'd like to officially welcome you to Lecture 7 of CIN 708. This lecture caters for the following learning outcomes. In section 7.1, we shall be looking at connectivity, the business value of a network world, and we will have an overview of a connected world, the benefits of a connected world, and challenges of a connected world. In section 7.2, we are looking at mobility, the business value of a wireless world. And in it, we have wireless network categories, business applications for wireless networks, benefits of business mobility, and challenges of business mobility. So let's have a look at section 7.1, connectivity. And the learning outcomes for the subtopic connectivity is explain the 5 different types or 5 different networking elements creating a connected world, and we shall identify the benefits and challenges of a connected world. Overview of a connected world. Network elements creating a connected world. Computer networks are continuously operating all over the globe, supporting our 24/7, 365, always on and always connected lifestyles. You're probably using different networks right now without even realizing it properly. You might be using a school's network to communicate with teachers, a phone network to communicate with friends, and a cable network to watch TV or listen to the radio. Networks enable telecommunications or the exchange of information. And when we exchange information using telecommunications, we're generally exchanging voice, text, data, audio, or video. So the elements that create a connected world are the network categories, the network providers, network access technologies, network protocols, and network convergence. Networks range from small 2-computer networks to the biggest network of all, the internet. A network provides 2 principal benefits: the ability to communicate and the ability to share. Email is the most popular form of network communication. Networks are differentiated by the following: architecture, that is peer-to-peer or client-server architecture; topology, bus, star, ring, hybrid, or wireless topology; networks, protocols, network protocols rather, Ethernet, TCP/IP, transmission control protocol, or Internet protocol; and finally, media, that is either you're using coaxial, twisted pair, fiber optic, or wired. Let's have a look at network categories, access technologies, protocols, and convergence in the next set of slides. Network categories. There are 3 types of network categories, and these are LAN, MAN, and WAN. LAN, which stands for local area network; MAN is metropolitan area network; and WAN is wide area network. Local area network connects a group of computers in close proximity. such as in an office building, school, or home. These are networks that are within a building. Metropolitan area network is a large computer network usually spanning a city. Are networks that are between buildings. Wide area network, or WAN, spans a large geographic area such as state, province, or country. These are networks that are countrywide or worldwide. Network providers. NSP, National Service Providers. These are private companies that own and maintain the worldwide backbone that supports the internet. A network service provider is a business entity that provides or sells services such as network access and bandwidth by allowing access into its backbone infrastructure or access to its network access points, which consequently also means access to the internet. For example, Fintel is the network service provider in Fiji. Network access points, or NAPs, traffic exchange points in the routing hierarchy of the internet that connects network service providers. Network access point is one or more locations with a high level of connectivity and several options to access the main carriers and content. In it, different providers, in other words, different internet service providers and telecommunications companies set up their points of presence, allowing any business to easily use their connectivity services. Regional service providers, RSPs, offer internet service by connecting to national service providers, but they also can connect directly to each other. A regional service provider is focused on a specific geographical region, usually with significant presence, legacy, and specialized regional expertise. Next up, we should look at network access technologies. Very first thing that we are looking in network access technologies is bandwidth. Bandwidth is the maximum amount of data that can pass from one point to another in a unit of time. So what makes up a bandwidth? So we have bit, a common terminology associated with bandwidth. Bit also is the short form for binary digit, is the smallest unit of data in a computer. A bit has a single binary value, either a 0 or 1. Bit rate, the number of bits transferred or received per unit of time. Modem, it is a device that enables a computer to transmit and receive data. Network access technologies continue. Like mentioned earlier, broadband is a high-speed internet connection that is always connected. Now, some associated terms with broadband include digital subscriber line. Digital subscriber line allows high-speed digital data transmission over standard telephone lines. Internet cable connection provides internet access using a cable television company's infrastructure and a special cable modem. High-speed internet cable connections refer to the high-speed internet access that is always on and faster than traditional dial-up access, generally makes use of broadband. Cable modem offers a high-speed internet access. It makes use of the broadband technology. Telecommuting is the ability for an employee to complete work assignments from outside the traditional workplace by using telecommunications tools. Network protocols. A protocol is a standard that specifies format of data as well as the rules to be followed during transmission. First of all, we'll have a look at TCP/IP, that means Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. It provides the technical foundation for the public internet as well as for large number of private networks. Domain name systems. It converts IP into domains. Computers using the same protocol can communicate easily, providing accessibility, scalability, and connectivity between networks. One of the primary reasons for developing TCP/IP was to allow diverse or differing networks to connect and communicate with each other, essentially allowing LANs, WANs, and MANs to grow with each new connection. Other network protocols include packet. A packet is a single unit of binary data routed through a network. Packets directly impact network performance and reliability by subdividing an electronic message into smaller, more manageable packets. Standard packet formats include a packet header, packet body containing the original message, and packet footer. A packet header lists the destination. For example, in IP packets, the destination is the IP address, along with the length of the message data. The packet footer represents the end of the packet or transmission end. The packet header and packet footer contain error checking information to ensure the entire message is sent and received. The receiving device reassembles the individual packets into the original by stripping off the headers and footers and then piecing together the packets in the correct sequence. Traceroute is a utility application that monitors the network path of data sent to a remote computer. Traceroute programs send a series of test messages over the network using the name or the IP address until the message finally reaches its destination. When finished, Traceroute displays the path from the initial computer to the destination computer. A proxy is a software that prevents direct communication between a sending and a receiving computer and is used to monitor packets for security reasons. Example of TCP/IP. Network access technologies use a standard internet protocol called TCP/IP, which provides the technical foundation for the public internet as well as for large number of private networks. One of the primary reasons for developing TCP/IP was to allow diverse or differing networks to connect and communicate with each other, essentially allowing LANs, WANs, and MANs to grow with each new connection. An IP is a unique number that verifies where computers are located on the network. The illustration in the slide demonstrates that drawing of one building on the left and one building on the right separated by a cloud labeled internet. The building on the left is sending a message to the building on the right. The from and to IP addresses are noted. Internet domains. If there is one flaw in TCP/IP, it is the complexity of IP addresses. This is why we use a DNS or domain name system to convert IP addresses into domain names, to identify levels that use a variety of recognizable naming conventions. Therefore, instead of typing or trying to remember 97.17.237.15, users can simply specify a domain name to access a computer or website such as www.apple.com. Network convergence. In part due to the explosive use of the internet and connectivity of TCP/IP, there is a convergence of network devices, applications, and services. Consumers, companies, educational institutions, and government agencies extensively engage in texting, web surfing, video conference applications, online gaming, and e-businesses. Network convergence, it is the efficient coexistence of telephone, video, and data communication within a single network, offering convenience and flexibility not possible with separate infrastructures. Network convergence continued. Unified communication, it is the integration of communication channels into a single service. Voice over IP or VoIP uses IP technology to transmit telephone calls. Almost any type of information can be converted into digital form and exchanged over a network. Network convergence then allows the weaving together of voice, data, and video. The benefits of network convergence allow for multiple services, multiple devices, but one network, one vendor, and one bill. Peer-to-peer networks, or P2P, is a computer network that relies on the computing power and bandwidth of the participants in the network rather than a centralized server. Network convergence continued. Voice over IP uses IP technology to transmit telephone calls. Internet Protocol TV, or IPTV, distributes digital video content using IP across the internet and private IP networks. Numerous vendors offer VoIP services. However, the service works differently depending on the vendor's IP infrastructure. The startup Skype, for instance, the startup Skype pairs peer-to-peer technology with a PC sound card to create a voice service, which the user can use to call other Skype users. Vonage lets the user place calls to any person who has a mobile or landline number. Vonage sends the call over a cable via a digital to analog converter. A few providers even offer an adapter for a traditional handset that plugs into a broadband modem. All of these vendors are providing VoIP, but the service and its features can vary significantly. Unfortunately, voice over IP routes calls through the same paths used by network and internet traffic. Therefore, it has the same vulnerabilities and is subject to the same internet threats. Much like data, VoIP traffic can be intercepted and captured or modified. Any threat that slows down or degrades services even slightly will disrupt business. As a result, VoIP traffic must be secured. Benefits of a connected world. Before networks, transferring data between computers was time-consuming and labor-intensive. People had to physically copy data from machine to machine using a disk, example, floppy disks or optical disks. Networks offer many advantages for a business, including sharing resources, allows resources from a central location to be shared across the network and in different geographical areas, providing opportunities, allows opportunities for invention and opportunity to access of resources with ease, reducing travel. Networks can aid in reducing mobility. However, there are many network security problems. Networks are at a tempting target for mischief and fraud. An organization has to be concerned about proper identification of users and authorization of network access, the control of access, and the protection of data integrity. Sharing resources. The primary resources for sharing include intranet, extranet, and virtual private networks. Let's have a look at these in more broad. Intranet, it is a restricted network that relies on internet technologies to provide an internet environment within the company for information sharing, communications, collaboration, web publishing, and the support of business process. Extranet is an extension of an intranet that is only available to authorized outsiders such as customers, partners, and suppliers. Virtual private networks. Companies can establish direct private network links among themselves or create private, secure internet access, in effect a private tunnel within the internet. Why would VPN be important to a business? Now, VPN is important to a business in terms of security. With the security issues on rise, keeping electronic records safe is an area of concern for many businesses. Challenges of a connected world. One, it creates a diverse, globally connected world, and then increased challenges. Networks create a diverse, globally connected world, eliminating time and distance, which makes it possible to communicate in ways not previously imaginable. Even though networks provide many business advantages, they also create increased challenges in security, social, ethical, and political issues. When talking about security, the very first thing that comes in mind in the modern day era, especially in terms of online and web security, is SSL certificate, that is secured security layer certificates. An electronic document that confirms the identity of a website or server and verifies that the public key belongs to a trustworthy individual or company. Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secured, is a combination of HTTP and SSL to provide encryption and secure identification of an internet server. Networks are a tempting target for mischief and fraud. A company has to ensure proper identification of users and authorization of network access. Outside suppliers might be allowed to access production plans via the company's extranet, for example, but they must not be able to see other information such as financial records. The company should also preserve the integrity of its data. Only qualified users should be allowed to change and update data, and only well-specified data. Security problems intensify on the internet, where companies need to guard against fraud, invalid purchases, and misappropriation of credit card information. Social, ethical, and political issues. Only a small fraction of the world's population has access to the internet, and some people who have had access in the past have lost it due to changes in their circumstances, such as unemployment or poverty. Providing network access to those who want or need it helps to level the playing field and removes the digital divide, a worldwide gap, giving advantage to those with the access to technology. Some organizations are trying to bridge the divide, which concentrates on local school children and their parents, helping them make knowledgeable, helping to make them knowledgeable about computers, programs, and the internet. Other organizations provide inexpensive laptops and internet access in low-income areas in developing countries. Digital divide is a worldwide gap, giving advantage to those with access to technology. Section 7.2, mobility. And the learning outcomes for the subsection on mobility includes explain the different wireless network categories and explain the different wireless network business applications. Let's concentrate on wireless networks. So when talking about wireless networks, some common types of wireless networks include PAN, WLAN, WMAN, and WWAN. So PAN, or Pastel Area Networks, provide communication over a short distance that is intended for use with devices that are owned and operated by a single user. Wireless LAN is a local area network that uses radio signals to transmit and receive data over distances of a few hundred feet. Wireless MAN is a metropolitan area network that uses radio signals to transmit and receive data. Wireless WAN is a wide area network that uses radio signals to transmit and receive data. Companies worldwide are going wireless to increase productivity, speed, delivery to market, and reduce operating costs. Wireless transmissions rely on radio waves, microwaves, and satellites to send data across high-frequency radio ranges that later connect to wired media. Untethered connectivity anytime, anywhere has fueled a major market and technology disruption, which has permeated almost every consumer market worldwide. The domino effect of success of wireless technology has resulted in a unique opportunity for innovation and creativity in technology, marketing, and business strategy. PAN provides communication over short distance that is intended for use with devices that are owned and operated by a single user. One of the examples of PAN is Bluetooth. Since Bluetooth's development in 1994 by the Swedish telecommunications company Ericsson, more than 1,800 companies worldwide have signed on to build products on the wireless specifications. Bluetooth is named to honor a 10th century Viking king Harald Bluetooth, who is credited with uniting Denmark and bringing order to the country. Bluetooth, basically, it's a wireless PAN technology that transmits signal over short distances between cell phones, computers, and other devices. Wireless LAN is a local area network that uses radio transmissions to transmit and receive data over distances of a few hundred feet. The terms mobile and wireless are often used synonymously, but actually denote two different technologies. Mobile means the technology can travel with the user, but is not necessarily in real time. Wireless gives user a live or internet connection via satellite or radio transmitters. Wireless technologies are transforming how we live, work, and play. Handheld devices are continuing to offer additional functionality, and cellular networks are advancing rapidly in their increased speed and throughput abilities. These enabling technologies are fueling widespread adoption and creation of new and innovative ways to perform business. A common example of wireless LAN is wireless fidelity or Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a means by which portable devices can connect wirelessly to connect to a local area network using access points that send and receive data via radio waves. It is a 802.11 standard. A 802.11 standard is the carrying out of wireless local area network communication. Looking at wireless LAN, we also have concept of access point. The computer or network device that serves as an interface between devices and the network. What is an access point used for that? An access point is a device that creates a local wireless local area network or WLAN using usually in an office or large building. An access point connects to a wired router, switch, or hub via an Ethernet cable and projects a Wi-Fi signal to a designated area. Wireless access point enables devices to connect to wireless network to communicate with each other. In computer networking, a wireless access point or WAP, or more generally, just an access point, is a networking hardware device that allows other Wi-Fi devices to connect to a wired network. Multiple in and multiple out technology. It uses multiple transmitters and receivers, allowing them to send and receive greater amounts of data than traditional networking devices. MIMO is a wireless technology that uses multiple transmitters and receivers to transfer more data at the same time. All wireless products with 802.11n supports MIMO. The technology helps allow 802.11n to reach higher speeds than products without 802.11n. 802.11n is also a wireless standard. Wireless MAN. It is a metropolitan area network that uses radio signals to transmit and receive data. A type of wireless MAN is WiMAX. WiMAX stands for Worldwide Interoperability for Microwave Access, a communications technology aimed at providing high-speed wireless data over metropolitan area networks. The latest trends in cell phones reflect a convergence of data, video, and voice telecommunications. By blending information with the internet, cell phones are center stage in the evolving trend of mobile infotainment. A WiMAX tower station can connect directly to the internet using a high bandwidth wired connection. It can also connect to another WiMAX tower using a line-of-sight microwave link. This connection to a second tower, often referred to as a backhaul, along with the ability of a single tower to cover up to 3,000 square miles, is what allows WiMAX to provide coverage to remote rural areas. Wireless WAN cellular. Cellular telephones or cell phones work by using radio waves to communicate with radio antennas placed within adjacent geographic areas called cells. A telephone message is transmitted to the local cell by the cellular telephone and then is passed from antenna to antenna or cell to cell. In less than 20 years, the mobile telephone has gone from being rare, expensive equipment of the business elite to a pervasive, low-cost personal item. Several countries, including the UK, now have more mobile phones than the entire number of population. There are over 500 million active mobile phone accounts in China. Luxembourg has the highest mobile phone penetration rate in the world at 164%. The total number of mobile phone subscribers in the world was estimated at 3.3 billion at the end of 2007, thus reaching an equivalent of over half the planet's population. At present, Africa has the largest growth rate of cellular subscribers in the world. Its markets expanding nearly twice as fast as the Asian markets. The availability of prepaid or pay-as-you-go services, where the subscriber is not committed for a long-term contract, has helped fuel this growth in Africa as well as in the other continents. This is all possible through the use of wireless WAN. A wireless WAN is a wide area network that uses radio signals to transmit and receive data. The first generation of successful PDAs were Palm Pilots. They primarily function as an electronic organizers with support of address books, calendars, emails, notes, etc. The PDA only occasionally needs to connect to a companion PC for synchronization. For instance, a PDA can be synchronized with a PC address book, calendar, and email inbox via a USB cable. Newer PDA models can also connect to PCs wirelessly via Bluetooth or connect to the internet via wireless means. PDAs are small, handheld computers capable of entirely digital communication transmission. After PDAs came the evolution of smartphones. With smartphones, the trends in mobile technology has boomed. Smartphones offer more advanced computing ability and connectivity than basic cell phones. With the invention of smartphones came in the different generations of networks. One of the trendsetter generation of network is the third generation, also known as 3G. It is a service that brings wireless broadband to mobile phones With 3G networks, streaming over the web is now seen as entertainment and also as jobs for individuals. Streaming is a method of sending audio and video files over the internet. Wireless WAN, satellite. Satellite communication is also used for wireless WAN. Satellite has a space station that orbits the Earth, receiving and transmitting signals from Earth-based stations over a wide area. A satellite has an uplink to upload data from a base station to the satellite and a downlink for downloading data from the satellite to a base station. There are generally 3 types of satellites: LEO, MEO, and GEO. LEO is low Earth orbiting satellites, MEO is medium Earth orbiting satellites, and GEO is geostationary Earth orbiting satellites. Protecting wireless connections. Wired equivalent privacy, or WEP, is an encryption algorithm designed to protect wireless transmission data. If using a Wi-Fi connection, WEP encrypts the data using a key converting the data into a non-human readable form. The purpose of WEP was to provide wireless networks with the equivalent level of security as wired networks. Unfortunately, the underlying technology behind WEP has been demonstrated to be relatively insecure compared to the newer protocols such as Wi-Fi Protected Access, or WPA. Wireless LANs that use Wi-Fi have a built-in security mechanism called Wireless Wi-Fi Protected Access, or WPA, i.e. Wireless Security Protocol to protect wireless networks. It is an improvement to the original Wi-Fi security standard, WEP, and provides more sophisticated data encryption and user authentication. Anyone who wants to use an access point must know the wireless standard Wi-Fi Protected Access, WPA, encryption key to access the Wi-Fi connection. Wall chalking is the practice of tagging pavement with codes wall chalking is the practice of tagging pavement with codes displaying where Wi-Fi access is available. The codes for wall chalking tell other users the kinds of access available, the speed of the network, and if the network is secure. Wall driving is deliberately searching for Wi-Fi signals while driving by in a vehicle. Many individuals who participate in wall driving simply map where Wi-Fi networks are available. Business applications of wireless networks. Areas experiencing tremendous growth using wireless technologies include RFID, that is radio frequency identification, GPS, which is global positioning systems, and GIS, which is geographic information systems. First of all, let's have a look at RFID. RFID, or radio frequency identification, uses electronic tags and labels to identify objects wirelessly over short distances. RFID tag contains a microchip and an antenna and typically works by transmitting a serial number via radio waves to an electronic reader, which confirms the identity of a person or object bearing the tag. RFID can be used to help make a supply chain more effective. Integrating RFID in the supply chain will change the way companies operate, from managing maintenance and combating theft to augmenting initiatives. RFID tags will be added to every product and shipping box. At every step of an item's journey, a reader scans one of the tags and updates the information on the server. Manufacturers and retailers can observe sales patterns in real time and make swift decisions about production, ordering, and pricing. Like mentioned previously, RFID includes RFID tags, reader. The RFID tag is an electronic identification device that is made up of chip and antenna. An RFID reader or RFID interrogator is a transmitter or receiver that reads the contents of RFID tags in the area. There are two types of RFID tags. These are passive and active tags. A passive RFID tag does not have a power source. An active RFID tag have their own transmitter and power supply, typically a small battery. The power source runs the microchip's circuitry and broadcasts a signal to the reader, very similar the way the cell phones transmit signals to a base station. Passive RFID tags draw power from the RFID reader, which sends out electromagnetic waves that induce a current in the tag's antenna. Global Positioning System, or GPS. GPS is a satellite-based navigation system providing extremely accurate position, time, and speed information. A geographic information system is useful for mobile applications, but it offers benefits that go well beyond what is required in a mobile environment. For example, using a GIS and GPS, users can decide what information is and not relevant to them and formulate their queries based on their custom criteria. Unlike a paper map, a GIS allows for an in-depth analysis and problem solving that make marketing, sales, and planning much more successful. A GPS allows automatic vehicle location tracking with the use of latitude and longitude. Latitude represents the north or south measurement of position. Longitude, on the other hand, represents an east or west measurement of a position. Global Positioning Systems continued. Geocache is a GPS technology adventure game that posts the longitude and latitude location for an item on the internet for users to find. GPS users find the geocache and typically sign a guest book or take an item and leave an item for the next adventure player to find. Caches are often placed in locations that are interesting or challenging for people to discover. A geocoin, a round coin-sized object, is uniquely numbered and hidden in geocache. Geocoins also be shaped to match a theme such as the state of Colorado or a birthday party hat. Geocoins are often decorative and commemorative, making them collectible and highly valuable for technology adventures. GPS applications are in every kind of company vehicle these days, from police cars to bulldozers, from dump trucks to mayoral limousines. Emergency response systems use GPS to track each of their vehicles and so dispatch those poses to the scene of an accident. If a vehicle is missing, a GPS locator can locate it very quickly. ETA, or estimate time of arrival, is the time of day of an expected arrival at a certain destination and is typically used for navigation applications. Estimated time en route, or ETE, is the time remaining before reaching a destination using the present speed and is typically used for navigation applications. A geographic information system, or GIS, consists of hardware, software, and data that provide information which is location-based for display on a multi-dimensional map. A geographic information system is a type of database containing geographic data combined with tools for managing, analyzing, and visualizing those data. Some associated terms with GIS include cartography, edge matching, and GIS map automation. To define these, cartography is the science and art of making an illustrated map or chart. GIS allows users to interpret, analyze, and visualize data in various ways that reveal patterns and trends in the form of reports, charts, and maps. Edge matching or warping rubber sheeting occurs when paper maps are laid edge to edge and items that run across maps do not match are reconfigured to match. Edge matching is a critical component of creating a GIS database because map misalignments could frequently occur for many reasons, including survey errors and cartographic errors. GIS map automation links business assets to a centralized system where they can be tracked and monitored over time. GIS continued, spatial data, geospatial data or geographic information identifies the geographic location of features and boundaries on Earth, such as nature or constructed features, oceans, and more. Spatial data can be mapped and is stored as coordinates and topology. A GIS accesses, manipulates, and analyzes spatial data. Geocoding in spatial databases is a coding process that assigns a digital map feature an attribute that serves as a unique ID or classification. GIS professionals are certified in geocoding practices to ensure industry standards are met when classifying spatial data. So some of the attributes that geocoding serves is unique ID. Unique ID may be in terms of tract number or node number, and the classification may be in terms of soil type or zoning category. GIS continued, location-based services. Applications that use location information to provide service. Example, a GPS application, social media, maps, delivery services app, IM apps, etc. Some of the common benefits of business mobility include enhanced mobility, provides immediate data access, increases location and monitoring capability, improves workflow, provides mobile business opportunities, provides alternative to wiring. And the challenges may include in terms of protecting against data. For example, mobile devices are more vulnerable to theft due to their small size. Protecting wireless connections. For example, Wi-Fi connections need to enforce data encryption. The next challenge is preventing viruses on a mobile phone. Mobile devices are not immune to viruses and need to be protected. And finally, addressing privacy concerns with RFID and location-based services. For example, both RFID and location-based services have the ability to share where someone is, which can cause privacy concern. So this finishes up our lecture 7 for CN 708. Thank you for listening, everyone.